All right, Gordon's up. He says, "Hey guys, thanks again for helping us customers on Hump Day. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. Well, as always, thank you, Gordon." He says, "I know that edits on GMB listings can now cause suspensions, but in your expert opinion, if you just add a call tracking phone number to a GMB listing, but leave the original phone number as an alternate number, but no longer the primary number, do you think that will still be considered sufficient of an edit that it could put your listing at risk of suspension?" I don't know, honestly, because it's just so up in the air right now. I can confirm what Marco was saying though the other day. I just got a new client. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's for an existing client that I got about 3 or 4 months ago, but he opened a second location. He opened a second location. It's really just another maps listing. But yeah, you can pretty much optimize an entire GMB listing while you're waiting for the verification card to come. And then once it comes, like I don't plan on touching it again, but I was able to completely deck the entire, I just did it yesterday, in fact. But the entire GMB listing has been optimized, and I'm still waiting on the verification card, but once that comes, then I can verify it and I won't have to touch it again. I know that doesn't answer your question, Gordon. I just wanted to confirm that because we've talked about that over the last couple of weeks, and I couldn't remember if all of the tools that are available could be completed. And I think it's like about 80%, is like what Marco said. That said, I think you'd be okay, but I don't want you to take that as law and then go do it and have it suspended, and then you're mad at me, Gordon. Does anybody have any insight on this?
Yeah, no, I can't say yes or no. This is one of those, I'm sorry, but I just can't, because there's no telling how much you've done already to get you to that tipping point where the next thing that you do is going to push you over the edge and you're going to get suspended. Or if at that point when you're doing something, Google is at it again and it's going to be enough to get it suspended. So since Google is so trigger happy, yeah, I can't say whether changing the number is going to get you. It's not something that I would say, yeah, sure, go ahead, you'll be fine. And I can't do that. Sorry.
Yeah, and again, I would hesitate to do it. I mean, I think it would be okay, but I just can't say, because it's really odd how, like I said, some of these suspensions, I've only had really 2 that really got hit by these suspensions that really hurt. I got one of them back finally, the pest control company. But there was really no rhyme or reason. And so I can't say whether that would do it or not. In my opinion, it should be okay. But also the edits that I had made on the 2 suspensions that I did get should have been okay. So I really can't say. I'm sorry, Gordon. He says, and for a client's listing, if doing that is a risk, so putting a tracking number in place also in the listing and keeping the original phone number as a secondary phone number. If doing that is a risk, is having that proof of results worth the risk? Again, that's a judgment call on your end. I cannot provide you with an answer for that. Right now, especially if it's a client's listing, I would probably, I've suggested to all my clients, don't request any edits right now. Don't ask me to make any edits right now, because if I make an edit based upon your request and it gets suspended, you're going to hold it against me. And I don't want to be responsible for that. So it really is up to you. I personally wouldn't want to do that right now. Okay. Here's something that you can do though. You can have the client, your client as the business owner. You can even create a training video, a short training video showing them how to do this, but you could always have your client contact GMB support, right? And get on the phone with Google My Business support and ask them to make the edit. Right? I don't know whether they'll honor that or not, but I had another client. I just took on an AdWords, Google Ads client just within the last week. And he had a question. First of all, he was a service area business, but he was showing his address, his physical location. So I told him that he needs to clear that address. But then he had also asked if he's in a little tiny town right outside of a big metro area. And he said he would rather be located in the metro area. And since he's a service area business, people do not come to his business. He said, would I be able to change the physical location if I have an address in the metro area? And I said, yeah, but I wouldn't suggest you do that now. I pulled up a citation report. He only had like 8 citations. No kidding. Because I don't know why. But anyways, I said, yes, it would help for you to rank better in the maps, potentially in the metro area. But if you're going to do that, contact GMB support and ask them to change it for you. That way, I can't imagine them suspending it if Google's the one that's making the change. And I don't know that they do that, but I would recommend, if it's really important to you, Gordon, to contact GM. And I wouldn't do it as a marketing consultant for the business. I would have the business owner do it, right? Just create a short video, show them, here's Google, give them the link, here's the Google support. This is what's going to happen. You're going to click on this link. It's going to ask you to enter your business name and a callback number, and who you are in relation to the business, which in your case, you tell them you're the owner. And then they're going to call you back within about 10 minutes. Generally, that happens within about 3 minutes. You get a call back from a Google support rep, and then you could tell him what to say. And that is, I want to install a tracking number into my Google My Business listing in addition to the original number, but I want to make the call tracking number the primary number. Can you do this for me, or show me how to do it, or something like that? That way, if it triggered a suspension while you're on the phone with Google support, you might be able to say, look, you just told me what to do and it suspended it, and again, I'm just giving you other options, but we're going to move on. Also, I think in the past, you mentioned that if we do change the primary phone number in a GMB listing to a call tracking phone number, but leave the original number in the alternate number position, there will be no negative ranking effect, even though all the citations only have the original number. Is that correct? Yeah, well, I've done that, and I've not seen, again, it may have changed since the last time I did it. It's probably been about a year since I've done that. But and again, I got this answer directly from Google My Business support, which they could have been blowing smoke up my ass. You know what I mean? There was also, not only have I done that with the tracking numbers in the past, but also the physical location. Like, I've got a preschool client. It's got 3 locations now, but one of the locations, we had updated the physical location address to the proper formatting based upon the United States Postal Service address formatting, right? And it's saved in the dashboard to where you could see it correctly, but Google My Business was always continuing to display it in its improperly formatted fashion, like the way that it had always been shown, which was not correct according to US Postal Service formatting. And so, after many weeks, because I kept thinking, well, I can't build citations to this way with the correct formatting if it keeps showing the bad, the improper formatting. And so I contacted Google My Business support, and I got on with a rep that said, no, we know, because I said in the back, if I go to edit the info, it always shows as I have entered it, but it's displaying in maps differently. And I was told that as long as they have the correct data in the back end, that the display doesn't matter. Again, I don't know whether that was 100% accurate or not, but that's what I was told. And I've never saw any sort of ranking decrease from that after starting to build citations and actually update existing citations to the correct formatting, even though the display showed it improperly. So I've had that happen with both phone numbers and actual physical addresses, and I haven't seen any negative ranking effect.